I decided to make a video in case I die before Sammy's open mic. I got some notes, so if I look down, that's why, because I don't want to fuck up. All right, let's see here. What am I going to talk about at Sammy's open mic? Oh, yeah. I got the same thing that killed Lindsey Graham. It's called an aortic aneurysm, and what it is it's a teensy tiny little hole in your heart that gets bigger and bigger and bigger until bam, one day you're in the Senate. I don't even want to be in the Senate, but it gave me an idea, like what if they were to institute a draft? I don't mean like so they could ship you off to Vietnam, but more like ship you off to the Senate. Because imagine if we had a Senate that was full of draftees, like nobody who actually wanted to be there. Could it be any worse than it already is? I don't think so. Let's see, what else? Oh yeah, the first time I worked for Andy, I swore I will never work for Andy again. The second time I worked for Andy, I swore I will never work for Andy again. The third time, you know what, let's not talk about Andy. I don't have enough time to do that. Let's move on. Now, I'm Boise's #2 storyteller, wedding officiant, and mobile notary. I think everybody should get married and have more babies, because that way, well, think about it. Good people outnumber bad people by a ratio of 1 to 1. And so if more people get married and have babies, that means we're going to have a whole bunch more people, a whole bunch more good people than bad people. And eventually we'll reach critical mass so that all the good people can get together and kill off all the bad people. So that's why you should get married and have more babies. All right, what's next? One thing I learned from Dateline is that it's not always the husband who did it. Even here in Idaho, I can think of 2 cases where the wife murdered the husband. Like one lady dragged her husband out onto Lake Coeur d'Alene, and she stuffed his smoothie full of Benadryl, and then he got all wobbly, and he fell into the lake. And it was the middle of February and 20 degrees out. Like, who goes out in the middle of Coeur d'Alene, Lake Coeur d'Alene, in the middle of February, unless you're planning to get murdered? And that's what happened. She shoved him in, and well, that was the last we saw of him. And then there was another lady who buried her husband in the backyard, which is kind of the more traditional approach. Now, my wife, she keeps a shovel right outside my office door. And look, I don't want her getting into any trouble. So I figured, well, you know what? Instead of having her do it, why don't I do it? Why don't I dig a hole in the backyard and not a big one, and fill it up with some water, and then stand out there after I drink my Benadryl lace smoothie, and stand there till the lightning strikes. I mean, that would work, and it meets the goal, and she doesn't, nobody has to go to jail. Let's see. Oh yeah, my dad always knew I was a quitter, and so that's why he forced me to join the swim team when I was 7 years old. Now, the coach didn't like kids, so he used to make us swim laps back and forth and back and forth and back and forth. I was tired. I didn't want to be there. I wanted to be back in the wading pool at Barnes Park. Well, one day I was super tired, and so I got out of the pool after practice, and I went to talk to the coach to tell him I was tired, and like I'm tapping on his back, but he wouldn't turn around. And I thought, well, my dad always taught me that you should always, when opportunity knocks, you should answer the door. And so I shoved him into the pool. Wow. And I'm laughing, and all the other kids are laughing, and even the coach. No, he wasn't laughing. Oh, he was so mad. He comes out of the pool and he chases me up the stairs into the locker room. And I run this way, and he runs this way, and I run that way, and he runs that way. And then he cornered me, and he picked me up, and I'm kicking, and I'm swinging, and I'm shouting, ah! But I was like 7 years old. What am I going to do? And so he hauled me down to the pool. 1, 2, 3, and he threw me way out into the middle of the pool where not even the U.S. Navy could rescue me. And, well, but I knew how to swim. Now, after that, the funniest thing happened. He was gone. Like, did he quit? Did he get fired? Did he get shipped off to Vietnam to force those kids to swim laps? I have no idea. All right, let's see. Next. I'm like the phoenix bird, always rising up from the ashes of my own self-destruction. Yeah, okay, whatever. My friend Hugh likes to give me advice. Well, a lot of people like to give me advice because I'm always sabotaging myself. But what you see is what you get. And so, no, I'm not going to listen to anybody's advice, no matter how good it is, because no good reason. All right, let's see. What else? My friend Brandon had me on his podcast. He tried to ambush me into talking about metaphysics like ego death and universal basic income and all kinds of stupid things that who cares? And he was trying to get me to say nice things about Elon, but I wasn't taking the bait. I don't like Elon. I mean, I got nothing against him personally, but electric cars, I hate electric cars. I want to have a choice. Like, I want to be able to go out to the garage and fire up my Volvo with the garage door closed, and you can't do that with a Tesla. Let's see. Here's one. This one is on a whole different page, so hang on while I get it. Okay. This is called You Can't Trust a Guy Without a Beard. You can't. I've been growing my beard. I'm on like day 11 now. Anyway, you can't trust a guy without a beard. You can't trust people who don't like dogs. You can't trust people who own cats unless they have a dog. You can't trust married couples who voluntarily don't have children. You can't trust children. You can't trust grown-ups. You can't trust single people. You can't trust married people. You definitely can't trust what you see on TV unless it's Columbo or the Rockford Files. You can't trust cops who pull you over for doing 40 in a school zone twice. You can't trust people who go to the library. Just look at George Washington. He went to the library. He checked out a book. They never got it back till almost 200 years later. The father of our country, a book non-returner. Let's see. Oh, you can't trust Jesus to rise from the dead when the cops pull you over for doing 40 in a school zone twice. And you can't trust God to strike you down when you're at your most miserable, which is all the time, or when the cops pull you over for doing 40 in a school zone, twice. I'm Louis Barney Katz, Boise's #2 storyteller, wedding officiant, and mobile notary. You can hire me or book me or boycott me at lbkatz.com. That's Lima, Bravo, Kilo, Alpha, Tango, Zulu.com. That's it.